Good morning, virtual villagers. Hi, I'm Kate from What Kate Made, and today we're going to do some crafts for kids. I'm trying to see if I can get your comments up because I'd really like to know if any of you are watching with children, because that will be good, or whether you're just watching so that you can um, do these crafts with your kids or your grandkids later on. Okay, so if you've got any kids out there, give me a shout out, and I'm going to show you what we're going to make today. So the two crafts we're going to do today both involve pegs, two different sorts of pegs. Your ordinary crocodile peg, I call that. It looks like a and the old-fashioned dolly peg. So we are going to make a beaded butterfly. This is mine. It isn't. I did this morning and it hasn't. I'm going to improve it slightly when I do it with you. I was finding it's just a little bit short, but I was struggling with beads. But the beads on here, I think they're called pony beads. Because you're using a pipe cleaner with this, you do need to have beads with quite a big hole in. So these are the pony beads. If any of the children use hammer beads, you know, the ones that you put on a surface and then iron, they're quite good because they have a big hole as well. Okay, so these are pony beads, and I'm going to use blue and white ones because that's all I've got. A lot of my beads I recycle from jewellery, and the holes are too small to get pipe clean through it. So that's your beaded butterfly. The second thing we're going to make is a peg doll. Now, the turn her the right way. This one's a little girl one. I've dressed her up in ribbon, a little dress, long summery dress with long hair. She's got little black shoes because I just painted them on. So there are various ways you can do this peg doll. The only thing you absolutely need is a peg. I've seen them done with my bodice of my dress is done with ribbon, and I've used a scrap of fabric for her skirt. But you can just paint them. You can use washi tape, this is washi tape. It's coloured tape that you can stick on, so you could do the bodice with that. You can paint them. You can do them with Sharpies, which is what I'm going to use. The hair you can just draw on, or you can use yarn like I have. You can wrap yarn round the body to make the colours for the clothing. But there's so many things you can do. I might make a few more of these this afternoon. But the one I'm going to do with you today, because this is a girl one, I'm going to do a boy one, and I'm going to put jeans. Now I always have scraps of denim fabric. So I'm going to use that for the bottom half. And then I'm going to use this striped washi tape for the top because that'll look like a checked shirt. Also suitable are any plain fabrics, fabrics with a tiny design on. You don't want a big bold design because it's too big. I use this one for my girl's skirt, and I think that's probably about as big as you can go. You can use, as I said, you can use Sharpie pens. I've also got some of these which have got a very fine tip for doing the faces. I'm not awfully good at the faces. Faces tend to look like the serial killers when I do them, but there you go. So I've got Jerry watching, and I've got Irene. Hi, good morning to you both. So let's go back to the butterfly. We'll do that first. So as well as your beads and your peg, you need 1.5 pipe cleaners. It might seem an odd amount, but I found just using one whole pipe cleaner was a bit much. So what I did was I've got the half one makes the small wings, and 2/3 of the big one makes the larger wing, and the last third will make your antenna. So I'm just going to cut the last third off this and show you what I mean. Okay. So we've now got 3 different pieces of pipe cleaner, 3 different sizes. There we go. Now I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So just bear with me a second. But now you can see my work surface. I'm just going to move the legs a little bit on my tripod, otherwise it'll fall over. It has a habit of doing that, and that makes you all a bit seasick. So first thing we want to do is colour the peg. Now I coloured this one just with a metallic blue marker, but now that my glue gun is operational and charged, I'm going to bead it. So I may colour it first as well. Now, the beads I'm using are these tiny seed beads. And these are my, whenever I'm doing anything with seed beads, there's always some that escape, and I just put them there, mixed, and then I use them for things like this. So I'm going to colour it first, I think. I think I might choose this lavender colour. And you just simply colour in the wood. The wood absorbs the ink really quickly and dries very quickly, particularly with these Sharpie pens. So we'll colour, this is going to be the body of your butterfly. I'm going to colour it in. So I've got Elizabeth watching, and Elizabeth runs a kids club in term time. So these are good ideas. Elizabeth, I'll do some more for you at some point. I love doing kids crafts. I try to do some online on my own page. If it's a wet day and people can join in, people in my village. Right, there we go. I've coloured that in. And now I'm going to put some glue on and dip it in the beads. I'm just going to use this piece of card to spread my beads out on because they tend to run away. So I am going to put, I'm using hot glue, but you don't have to use hot glue. And I'm going to sort of spread it out as much as I can. And then I'm going to take my beads out and just do that until they cling to it, all the glue. And try not to make too much of a mess. These will all go up the hoover later. Now that makes you think I actually do some hoovering. I'm just going to, maybe it would be better doing it that way. So as you can see, it's quite pretty now. It doesn't have to cover all of it, just some of it. Let me see if I can get these beads back. This card might have been a bad idea. Might have been better with a bit of paper. So I'm just going to quickly do the other side. I'm going to be a bit more generous with my glue. Glue gun's got it's a new stick in it, so it's giving up the ghost as it gets to the bottom. And then I'll sprinkle. Is that working? Sprinkle and dab. I'll do a combination of both. So there, so I've beaded it. So it looks pretty. So that's our body done. Now, let me get rid of these little seed beads and we'll move on to the wings. So as I said before, we've got 3 lengths. That one's going to be our antenna, like that. I'll put that there so you can see what I mean. This one's going to be our small pair of wings, and this one's going to be our larger pair, because they quite often have bigger ones at the bottom than the top. So you need to thread on your beads. Now, when I did mine, I threaded on too many, and they wouldn't sit properly in the peg. So I'm going to do it a little bit more. I'm going to be a bit more thorough with this one. So on this one, I did 2, 4, 6, 9 beads. So I'm only going to put 8 this time. This is the shorter one. So you want to put 8 on each end. Now, in order to stop it running off the end, just flick over the end like that. And then you could, I've alternated mine, white and blue. So I'll do that again. And you just thread on your bead. So you're putting 8 on each wing, so 16 in total. So the pony beads, I think I got mine from eBay. I think that's what they're called. And you can get them in all sorts of different colours. If Elizabeth runs a kids club, she might already have these. Oh, that's a good idea. Kelly's just telling me the flat bottom takeout containers you get. If you put your seed beads into that, and then I have done that in the past, Kelly, but today I was in a bit of a rush this morning, so that I forgot to find one, and this is all I could find. Anybody that follows my page on Facebook, What Kate Made, Kate's Design and Craft, you'll know that I've got a new addition to the family. I'm just going to count these beads: 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 16. That's all the beads we need. The new addition to our family is a little Shih Tzu called Jack. He's about 8-year-old, and we've adopted him. So we've been a bit busy. So I've split these now into 2 lots of 8. And in order to make the wings shape, you're going to do like a figure of 8. But you need to have quite a big bit in the middle where your peg's going to go. This is the mistake I made earlier, and that might be. So what you're going to do is, for each half, bend it over and just twist it so that the wire twists like that, and then kind of bend your wire to make a wing shape. And the same with the other side. You might have to push your beads towards the middle a bit and then push them back out again. So this little bit we turned over is really handy now for doing the twisty bit. So there we've got 2 wings with a gap. So you can see that that's where it's going to go in your peg, and it's going to sit a lot easier than mine. Now the longer piece, the piece that was 2/3, we're going to do the same again. And this time we're going to put 10 beads on each side, so that's 20 altogether. So again, turn up the end, start threading on your beads. I should have done here's one I made earlier, shouldn't I? It would have been easier, but never mind. A few beads out, then I can be quicker. It is very quick, it doesn't take that long. Now, if you don't have beads with big holes, which I struggled to find, I only had these because I got them for another children's project. You could, instead of using a pipe cleaner, because it's the fluffy bit of the pipe cleaner that makes it difficult to get through other beads, you could use just wire. If you're doing it with older kids, I would say, yeah, definitely use wire. But younger children, I don't know whether they'd be able to manage the wire as easily. Now, how many have I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. I need 20 altogether. So by my reckoning, that should be 20 now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Right, so you do the same thing again. So you split it up into 2 lots of 10. Let's just turn that end over. And then bend it in, one end in, to make your figure of 8 shape. So that set of wings is slightly bigger, as you can see. So there we've got our figure of 8. A bit more space there. Now, if we bend them down slightly, and they're there. So the antenna, which is your smallest piece, you're just going to put 1 bead on each end. So I think I'll choose blue ones because they'll stand out a bit more. And I'm going to put it on and then bend it over like so. Hold it on. Yeah. Do the other one, making sure you bend it in the same way. So that's inward, that way. And then you just make a V shape. It's going to come off. Quite bend that round enough. There we go. Have to bend it right. The wire a bit inside if you bend it right round. So there are our bits of our butterfly. So all that we need to do now is stick everything together. Now, the one I saw didn't glue them in, but I'm going to glue them in because I found they moved quite a bit. So my glue gun is ready. Whoops, glue everywhere now. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to squeeze some glue in there, and I'm going to put in my first set of wings. Okay, and let that clamp shut. Don't let it clamp shut too much because the glue will clamp. I will. Then another dot of glue for my second set of wings. And then finally, a last spot of glue for my antenna. And then I'm going to let it close. Press it down. And then we'll spread out the antenna and then oh, little beads are escaping. Shape the wings. And there's your butterfly. Now, I think that one is actually better than my first one because I like the glistening beads and it fits a lot better. What do you think? I like that one. Now, pegs, you can get a tenner penny, literally. You can get them at any sort of hardware store all over the place. Don't think plastic pegs would be suitable unless you were using washi tape maybe on the body. But the wooden pegs you can still find, and they're much more biodegradable. Now, the other thing you could do, which I thought was what I'm going to do, I'm going to put mine on a bamboo skewer. So I'm going to I'm going to glue it into the other end of the peg, the open end, and I'm going to use that, and then they will have, if I can get the glue in, lots and lots of glue, be very generous, and then hold your skewer in there till it sets. So Elizabeth is suggesting that you can cut up straws, plastic straws, instead of using beads, which is a good idea as well if you don't have any beads to hand, because they will thread on really well onto the pipe cleaners. So there, mine's got a stand on it now. Oops, it's not set yet, but it'll set in a minute. I just put a little bit more, put that to one side for now. Let it dry, because I tend to fiddle and then they fall apart. I'll put that one to one side. Okay, so I'll show you now. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. It's very dry. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it's gone very cloudy here today. But it's still warm, so it's now very, very humid. Okay, so we'll take a look at our dolly peg dolls. Now, some of this you can do with a Sharpie, like I said. Mine's actually got slightly out of kilter. Its feet don't quite match its head, but I'll be more careful. So, with the boy doll, I think I'll do the feet. I'll do the shoes black, because this is going to be my boy doll. I've probably got time to show you too, actually. So we're going to just work out first where his face is going to be. So the legs are there, and that's going to be his face at the front. Now, it might help you to do the face first, because I didn't and ended up with having mine slightly off kilter. So for a face, I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing here, but I'll show you in a minute. I always do 2 little half circles for eyes, but it's like they're closed, because I can't draw faces. Anybody that can draw faces can do a proper face. And then that's a black marker I used for that. And then I just do another little smile with the red marker, like that. So that's my little face, because I find that makes them look like humans for me and not like aliens, because I'm not very good at drawing. Okay, so now we've got the face in place, we can put the feet on. So I'm just going to use a black Sharpie, because black shoes for a man. Can you see what I'm doing? I think the light's not very good today. I'll try and turn it around that way. The way the pig's shapes at the bottom, where the curve starts there, that's where the shoes are going to end. So what I'm going to do is draw a line across, and then across again. And then just colour it in. The wood absorbs the ink from the Sharpie very quickly. You do get a little bit of bleed sometimes, because the wood's raw. But don't worry about that, and it won't. Once it's on, it sort of stays on. It doesn't leak off onto your surface. It might come on your hands, so be careful. I did a decoupage class last week and managed to get white enamel paint on my manicure, which wasn't good. So I've got Samantha online as well, and I think her daughter's watching. So if we've time, I'll do another girly one as well. So there you can see, I'll put the little shoes on just with the marker pen. That's very easy. The kids can manage that themselves. Now this one I said I'm going to dress in jeans. So I've got some denim fabric. I always have denim because I recycle a lot of denim and I use it quite a lot. As far as measuring the cloth goes, you want it to start at what I would call the waist, where the top of the peg is. Yeah. So the way I'm going to measure this one is I'm going to lay him on there with his waist at the top, and I want it to go to the top of his shoes, which is there. So that's where I'm going to cut, and I'm just going to put a snip in so I know where I'm going to cut, and then I want it to go all the way around his body, and then a little bit of overlap. So I'm going to measure by rolling the peg and giving myself a little bit of overlap. So again, I'm just going to unroll it. That's clever. I'm going to snip downwards so I know. You could draw. If you've got a pen, you could draw on it. It would make it a lot easier. I'm making life quite difficult for myself at the moment. So I'm going to cut that piece of fabric out. Now, I haven't actually done this before, trousers, so I have an idea in my head of how it's going to work. It might not. Okay, back to the glue, which is now conveniently switched itself off. While that warms up, I'll show you what I think I'm going to do. What I think I'm going to do is pop the end in between his legs. That's what I thought I was going to do, but I don't think that'll work because of the back side. So what I might do instead is cut that in half again and do his trousers in 2 halves. So I'm going to put that in there, then roll it round and then put it in at the other side and make trousers like that. That would make sense. So I'm going to glue it in. So what I need to do is put glue in between. It's decided it doesn't want to work again now. Put glue there. Poke it in lightly. Okay, and then roll it round to the other side. I'm going to put a dab of glue in the middle. Hold it as it goes. And then more glue in here. Now, this is a lot of glue, but as I say, you don't need to, I want something to poke that in. You don't need to use fabric. You could have just painted his jeans on with a blue marker if your kids want to do it themselves. I just wanted to have a go at this and see if it would work. And it does seem quite successful so far. Older children might enjoy making a whole series of these, ones that are able to handle the glue themselves. They could make their favourite band. I don't know. They could make a fashion parade. Girls could make a fashion parade if they want their own little catwalk show. Again, I'm just going to use the blade of the scissors to poke that in between so it looks like legs. Well, I think that's worked quite well. I think he looks like he's wearing jeans. Now, the other thing I was going to use was some washi tape. And I've got this one that's got like a check pattern, and I thought that would look quite like a checked shirt. You could use ribbon, you could use more denim, you could use a bit of fabric. If we made that pale blue, it would look like a shirt. Now, the other thing you can do is put arms on them. I don't have a pinky coloured pipe cleaner, but I do have a white one. So I will show you, although it's not very authentic. So the way you would do the arms is you would glue them on, but you don't want them to be too long. So if you measure your pipe cleaner around the top of the body like that, and then cut it to the length you think you want his arms to be. Now, I'm going to put the washi tape on. If I can find the end. I think that's it there. Now, oh, I knew that was going to happen to that nail today. If you don't know what washi tape is, it's a printed paper tape. I think it's Japanese in origin. The Japanese are very, very crafty. We're going to make it, start it at the back. So I'll put his face down and just put the tape on the top where his trousers are, and then just wash it around. Wrap it round carefully, all the way around till he meets the back, and then not with your fabric scissors, with your other scissors, just cut it off and smooth it. Okay, and then we're going to do another row because it's they want to go up to his shoulders. So, again, now I've chosen this, and now I'm thinking that was a bad choice because I'm going to have to match up the lines of the checks, aren't I? Anyway, never mind. That will teach me. I'm one of these people. If you ever watch something like the Great British Sewing Bee, it talks about pattern matching. I'm not a pattern matcher. I'm very rubbish at it. So there we go. So now we've got his check shirts and his denim jeans, and we're going to put the arms on just by gluing them on this back. Like that. Okay, so the only thing is missing now is hair. Now you could draw the hair on just with a Sharpie pen, which might be a good idea. Or you could use yarn. I used yellow yarn on my lady one. But I think on this one, I'm just going to draw his hair on, and I'm going to use a brown Sharpie pen. You could, if you were feeling really clever, make him a little cap or a hat of some sort. But I am just going to draw around a sort of Beatles style haircut, if you're old enough to remember the Beatles. At the moment, he looks bald. Let's put him a fringe on around his head and then round like that. So we've drawn the basic shape, and then we just colour it in. No, we have got time to do another peg doll, so I'll show you how I made the one, dressed the one that I've got. I'll use some different fabrics. There. That's the little boy doll. So what do you think? That was easy enough, wasn't it? Don't know what really to do with his arms now. I've given him arms. Put them down by his side, maybe. Maybe don't need to put arms on, but there we go. That's a little boy doll. Right, let's do another one then. I've got plenty of pegs, so, and I've got plenty of ribbons and things and fabrics. So what we might do with this one is maybe we will give her another dress. I'm going to use this nice very small print. This is just a fat quarter. So we do the same thing as we did before. We measure how much fabric we want, remembering that we need the feet to show. So I'm going to cut that at about that length. I'm going to cut it longer because I'm going to try and gather it to make a gathered skirt. You can easily gather just with a needle and thread, but I'm going to try and be clever and not use the needle and thread. So I think we'll do her shoes, a contrasting colour. We'll go for this dark pink. So again, we're just going to draw the feet. Oh, that's not working. Yep, let's not find another pink. We'll try this nice metallic pink, I think. There we go. So she's got nice pink shoes to match her dress. I mean, you could make them into all sorts of things. You could make soldiers, you could make ballet dancers. Am I being a bit? You could make superheroes. Yeah, if you just used paint or felt tip, you could make Superman and Batman and all those kind of things. Right, so that is her feet done. Better do her face. And again, I'm doing 2 little semicircles for eyes and other very simple faces. But as I say, I'm not very good at faces. Little mouth. Okay. Now I have some nice lacy ribbon here, which I'm going to use for the bodice. So this is just a lace ribbon. So you can see that makes a nice top. And again, I just want that to be able to go around her once. So I'll cut it there. You could get very creative with this, you know. You could turn yourself into a little fashion house. So again, I want to start the join at her back. So I'm going to put my line of glue there at the back. I'm going to join the lace on. Now be careful with lace because it's got holes in it. And when you press the glue, it will come through onto your fingers. So you're probably best maybe using a cocktail stick or something like that. I sometimes use the end of a pencil to dab my glue. And then I'm going to put a line at the front just to hold it, stop it slipping down. And then take it back round to the back and then put another line of glue there. See, I told you. And I always burn myself with hot glue. Children beware. So that's the top of a dress. Now I'm going to just bear with me and let me see if I've got a needle already threaded. As it so happens, I've got a little bit of thread on this needle, so this might be enough. You'll have seen me doing this before where you gather things when we've done flowers and all sorts of things, but if you want to gather something, the easiest way is to just put a bit of thread in and then double work over and over the same stitch a couple of times just to oh, it's come on thread. And then you it's sticking to the glue on my fingers. And then just run it through like that. You can see that with a running stitch, and that will make gathers. So, and then when you pull it through, keep hold of your thread. Don't need to keep the needle in it, but you want to be able to pull it so that it fits the doll's waist, but you don't want it too tight because otherwise then you'll get you'll not have enough fabric to go all the way around. So pattern side out, just glue that on and then take it round and pull the gathers as you go, making sure that you've got enough fabric for it to go all the way around and fit again at the other side. So then we will overlap it, put some more glue on, and then just work the gather. And you might want to just put a little bit of glue at the front, hold it. Right, so that's not perfectly gathered, but you're getting the impression. I could probably just pull it a little bit more, and then I will wrap that round and glue that on. So she's got a little bit of a gathered skirt now. So a final touch would be something around the waistband to hide the join. And I have this lovely spotted pink ribbon. And I'm going to put that round the gather, round the join. So again, working from the back, put a little bit of glue where you're going to start. Put your ribbon on. Take your ribbon round. A bit more glue at the front. And then round to the back. Glue all over my good scissors now. And then just measure. That's it. I'll glue the last bit. And there we go. So all she needs now is some hair. Now, in the past, I've made angels, peg doll angels at Christmas. And the way I did their hair was to coil yarn round and make like a top knot. So I'm going to try and do that now. So you start in the middle with some glue, put your yarn on, and then just coil it round like that, sticking as you go. And then when you've got the top knot done, you take the glue down the side and you carry on gluing, and you do another coil at the back. So I'm going to coil it inwards at the back. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'm going to do it same again at this side. More glue and coil it round. You can also use a pipe cleaner. If you had a brown pipe cleaner, you could do the coils with that, which would take less time because the pipe cleaner is obviously thicker than the yarn. I'll just cut that off there. So there we go. She's done. I'm not going to give her arms because I didn't like the arms on the other one. You will have bits of glue, residual glue. They just peel off once it's set. So we've got two peg dolls, man and lady, girl and boy. Let me clear some space and I'll show you them side by side. There we go. What do you think? Do you like those? So that, with your butterfly on a stick, is our crafts for this morning. And I hope it's something that your kids will enjoy doing. And when Elizabeth gets back to school, it will be something they can make. Elizabeth is also suggesting cotton wool for the hair. That's a good idea. Another lady wants to make the superhero dolls. That's a good idea. I've seen those done quite a lot. In fact, I might make some more this afternoon and pop them onto my Facebook page. So I'm sure that VVH will put up the link to my Facebook page, and you can take a look at what I do there. There may be other sessions during the week or next week. I'm retired now, so I don't have to. I can do this all day long. So during school holidays, I'm going to try and do some for people who like to watch with their children. I did start to tell you about our new edition and then got distracted. We've got a new dog. His name's Jack. He's a Shih Tzu. We've adopted him because his owner passed away. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of. Last week, if you watch me, I did pet toys, and this week I've been making lots of pet toys for Jack. Anyway, let me just turn you up so I can say goodbye properly. Hi there. I hope you have enjoyed this session. I've quite enjoyed it. I'm quite pleased. Really pleased with these. I'm going to make some more. I think I'm on again next week, and I think I'm going to be showing you how to use up all the scraps of paper. I mean, today we've used fabric, but in the past when we've done things, if you have used papers for card making or something like that, and you've got scraps left over, I'm going to show you how to make some little embellishments that you can use on your cards or your scrapbook pages out of buttons, paper clips, scraps of paper, and that's what we're doing next week. So I am going to say goodbye now, go back and take Jack out for a walk now it's cooler. And I'll see you next week. So thank you for watching and have a good day.